It's our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. It is our choices and the ability to keep to them, to work at them, to work at realizing the choices that we make that make us whatever we desire or we want to be in life. No matter how intelligent one may be, if he does not begin to do something practical, if an intelligent student does not sit on his books to study, there is no success, there is no achievement. But we must choose what we want for our lives and work towards it. Grace and peace to you. I wish to talk about choices. It is often said, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Life is all about making choices, and every day we are choosing. In fact, the philosopher Albert Camus says life is a sum of all your choices. At every turn in life, we are making choices, and those choices determine who we truly are. From the moment we rise from bed, there has to be a choice either to brush one's mouth or not. There is a choice either to bathe or feel the uneasiness of going around without bathing. There is the choice of either emptying our bowels or feeling ashamed at a meeting. And so life is all about choosing, and choosing to do the right thing at the right time ultimately tells everyone who we truly are. It is not so much about our abilities, it is rather about our choices and the choices we are making at every moment. An intelligent student who refuses to study cannot achieve anything in school despite all the intelligence that he or she may have. A businessman who decides not to go to the business side on a particular day has to bear with the pain of coming out of that day frankless. And so ultimately, the success such a person records depends on the choices that he or she makes at the beginning of each day and throughout the course of that day. Apart from the little ordinary choices we make, like what to wear, what to eat, there are fundamental choices that we must make that are complex, like choosing a career, choosing a life partner. And ultimately, we intend to be anything, we must make the choice to become whatever we want to be. It is our choices and the ability to keep to them, to work at them, to work at realizing the choices that we make that make us whatever we desire or we want to be in life. Aristotle, one of the great philosophers history has known, is of the opinion that excellence is never an accident, which simply means when we are able to achieve anything to whatever great heights that we may reach, it is not accidental. When we are able to perform in an orchestra or do whatever we are able to do wherever and whenever, it is never by accident. It is always, according to Aristotle, the result of high intention, which implies I must decide, I must begin to do it, I intend to do it, I decide to do it, and I choose to do it. And according to Aristotle, it comes as a result of a sincere effort, which implies I put into it whatever effort that I need in order to achieve or realize whatever result I desire to achieve. An intelligent execution, which means that I must get to it and begin to do it. I begin to execute my choices. According to Aristotle, it represents the wise choice of many alternatives. So choice, not chance, determines your destiny, Aristotle says. Now, when we look at real life, we realize People are constantly choosing, and there are some people who never ever get to achieve anything in life because they do not choose. So if you do not choose to achieve in life, no matter how much you may pray, no matter how much you may think that you belong to God or you are able to spend hours and hours in prayer, you will never ever achieve anything. You will never get anything done, because our choices, not our abilities, determine our success in life. Now, there are so many Christians who believe so much in prayer and without work. And so they believe God is one who can all of a sudden propel them to whatever height He may want to. It is true, God can do whatever He may want to do, but we need to become practical in our religious life. We need to be practical in our Christianity, so that while we are praying and asking God for energy, while we are praying and asking God for grace, we begin to apply that grace in our lives, working towards achievement, working that we may be able to get what we want in life, and not hoping on the God who does all the magic for us. Because our God can do great things, He can do mighty things in our lives, but God is not a kind of magician who steps in to do things that we can be able to do. Because I think God Himself obeys the principle of subsidiarity, which says whatever a higher power can do or a lower power can do, a higher power should not try to do. We give room to people to be able to exercise their potentials, because when God creates us, He does not create finished products, but He creates products that are perfectible, which simply means that we can be able to perfect ourselves, to bring ourselves to that level where God requires us or wants us to be or desires that we be. Because when God creates each and every person, it is for a purpose, and each person has a purpose for being here. So we must seek, what purpose is it that God has for me in this life? And when I get to know the purpose of God for me in this life, then I can begin to work towards the achievement of that purpose which God has for me in this life. Now, a story is told of a man who wanted to achieve in life, but he never knew exactly what to do in life. He never knew what career to choose in life. And so his father decided to send him to a music school. And when he went to a music school as a little boy, he learned singing, and he also learned to teach. And when he was done with his school, he went to his father and said, "Father, now I am done. Now which one will I become, a teacher or a singer?" And it is said his father told him, "If you try to sit on two chairs, you will fall between them. For in life, you must choose one chair." And this man decided to choose singing. And when he chose singing, he worked at it, and he was able at the end of his life to say, and I think whether it's laying bricks, writing a book, whatever we choose, we should give ourselves to it. Which simply means whatever we choose in life, we must put in our best into it to be able to achieve anything. No matter how many times we go to church, no matter how many hours we spend praying, if we do not get to doing something practical, then we do not get to achieve anything in life. Because opportunity comes to those who work and those who are prepared, and those who are not prepared, even when opportunity comes knocking at their doors, they are not able to grab the opportunities because they have nothing to offer. They have no potentials to be realized. Even if the potentials are there, they are not prepared, they have not been sharpened to be put into practice or to put into effect in this or that field. Commitment, therefore, is the key to success when we have made the required choices or the choices that we must make. We must therefore in life choose something and stick to it. For success does not come to people just because they are human. It comes to people because they are doing something positively and effectively to realize what their destiny is. Because we do not succeed by destiny, we succeed by determination. It is the determination I put into whatever I do that brings results, that brings success into my life. For if I do not ultimately choose and work towards the realization of a particular goal in life, I don't get anything. No matter how intelligent one may be, if he does not begin to do something practical, if an intelligent student does not sit on his books to study, there is no success, there is no achievement. But we must choose what we want for our lives and work towards it. We must be able to choose what we want to be and work towards it, because it is only the choices that we make that bring about the realization of the potentials that are right there in each and every one of us. For one who chooses to be a banker, or myself, if I choose to be a priest, or if I think that God is calling me to be a priest and I don't work or study towards it, there is no way I can ever be there. But when I make my choices and I pray about them and I begin to put into practice my choices with commitment, with serious work, then I can be sure that I am moving towards a direction that can yield fruit in my own life and in the lives of the people I intend to serve as a priest, of course. One thing about choices is that to choose one thing is to reject many other things. To choose a life partner is to reject 1,000,000 or more of other men in my life or in their lives, for whosoever is doing the choosing. To choose a career is to reject all others in the world, yet one must choose. The choosing and elimination process is always fraught with failure, and many people are not willing to choose and are not ready to get into the act of choosing because they are afraid of the consequences of choosing the wrong things. But life is all about taking a risk. This is what really makes choices something worthwhile, that you choose to eliminate something that you may love and something you may have desired in order to get something that you really need in your life. That is what makes choices worthwhile, because it is when you make choices eliminating things that you would like to have around you or with you, that you are able to understand that there is something I have lost, and so what I have taken, I must be committed to it. I must work towards it. I must be able to do something practical, something effective, to be able to realize what I have chosen, to realize some good result, some good success, to achieve what I have set my foot on, the path I have taken, to make sure that I am getting somewhere and not remaining nowhere, or remaining somewhere where there is no room for progress, where I am unable to go ahead. And the difficulty to choose for so many people makes it such that they begin to cling onto various things and many things in life. And because they cling to so many things in life, there is never a way for them forward. We must be able to make informed choices, knowing what we want and why we want those things, we want them, and then we are able to move forward. In life, the difficulty to choose and the problem that so many people face today is that they jump into decisions before they begin to think and reflect on the choices they have to make. This is the cause of so many, as we see today, divorce, remarry cases. We see people, they get married, they get divorced, and then they begin to remarry. At times because they never took time to reflect, to think about the choices they were making, and so they do not really make informed choices. The choices are hurriedly made, and when they hurriedly make the choices, then they are not able to bear with the consequences of their choices, and so they must divorce themselves from their former choices in order to get into other things. And so they waste a lot of time that would have been spent profitably in one thing, going from one thing to another. It is interesting how Paulo Coelho demonstrates the art of the choosing process nicely with Brida. And he says, choosing a path meant for me having to miss out on others. She had a whole life to live, and she was always thinking that in the future she might regret the choices she made now. I'm afraid of committing myself, she thought to herself. She wanted to follow all possible paths, and so ended up following none. Even in that most important area of her life, which is love, she had failed to commit herself. After her first romantic disappointment, Coelho tells us, she had never again given herself entirely. She feared pain, loss, love, and the only way of avoiding them was by deciding not to take that path at all. In order not to suffer, you had to renounce love. It was like putting out your own eyes not to see the bad things in life. Even that itself is a choice. And so there are people who regret that they make choices and make uninformed choices that are not informed, in which case they end up badly. And at times, it is frustrating, and especially for young people, when a mother or a parent has to choose a career for the son or for the daughter. And somebody says, my son must become a doctor, my son must become a this or that. It is really frustrating for the children at times, because you find a child who will be nice, or who will be a wonderful craftsman. You find a child or somebody who could be a wonderful doctor, a wonderful lawyer, being forced into things that he would never have desired or loved to get involved in life. And so choices are very important, and when we are able to make choices ourselves and informed choices, we are able to commit ourselves, therefore, to be able to achieve the things that we chose to achieve in life. So many have to face their fears, especially the fear of failing, which is the greatest evil that causes many to fail. Tagore has said, you can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. You must therefore actively begin to cross the sea. You choose to cross the water, and then you begin to get into it. You begin to do something about it. You must do the crossing by yourself. So you cannot cross it by just standing and staring and wishing that you had crossed it. So when we make choices, we must begin to implement the choices that we make in our lives. And so many people, like I said, do not get to achieve anything in life. They desire greatness, they want fame in their lives, but they do not get to achieve anything because they make choices, they hope, they keep wishing that I could become this, I could become that, this is what I want to do in life, this is what I want to do in life, and they may spend all their time praying about it, but never ever actively doing anything positive towards achieving that goal, that end in their lives. There is a poem by Shannon Alder which speaks about choice. It is a beautiful poem, and I love it so much. Ever since I read it, I've never forgotten this poem, and this is how the poem goes. It says, you choose, you choose, you choose. You choose to give away your love. You choose to have a broken heart. You choose to give up. You choose to hang on. You choose to react. You choose to feel insecure. You choose to feel anger. You choose to fight back. You choose to have hope. You choose to be naive. You choose to ignore your intuition. You choose to ignore advice. You choose to look the other way. You choose not to listen. You choose to be stuck in your past. You choose your perspective. You choose to blame. You choose to be right. You choose your pride. You choose your games. You choose your ego. You choose your paranoia. You choose to complete. You choose your enemies, and you choose your consequences. You choose, you choose, you choose. There is a beautiful poem that talks to us about choice. Whatever we do in life is about choice. The friends we have around us and we crowd ourselves with, we choose them. The wife we're married to, we chose them. The husbands we have, we chose them. So at the end of everything, much of what happens to us as an account of other choices that we ourselves make. And the choices that we make have consequences on us. And some of the consequences could be dire consequences. Some of the consequences on us could be so heavy. And at times we begin to wonder how we got into choosing. But it's important for us to take time to meditate, to reflect, and to pray about the choices that we make. Ask God for assistance and go through a process of discernment, and if possible, even counseling, so that we are able to make choices that are important for us and choices that take us towards the end that we desire for ourselves. However, you are not alone. No matter how many times you have failed in your choices, there are so many men and women who daily are choosing, so many men and women who daily are failing because of their choices. So many people who are not able to make choices, informed choices in their lives. But it's important to realize that we can always bring back the choices that we have made. We can always make new choices, informed choices that will categorically change the way we have always looked at life and the things that have happened to us, because we cannot do the same things and expect different results. If we are chosen in a particular way in the past and had negative results, we must begin to choose positively so that we can be able to have positive results, so we can be able to achieve some success, so we can be able to achieve something worthwhile in life. We choose to let go. We choose to forgive even ourselves. We choose to forgive others. We choose to see ourselves as valuable or not valuable. We choose to show the world that we are always victims or victors. We choose to make ourselves pride. It is important that we are able to realize that life can never be worth living until we begin to choose a path for ourselves that makes us happy. Until we begin to realize that we must make informed choices that make up to our joy, our happiness, and our peace. And never ever forget, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. For no matter how talented one may be, no matter how much potential one may have, until he begins to choose and rightly, those potentials are useless. And so as we go through this day, let us pray God for that grace to be able to choose and choose rightly, and especially after due discernment and asking for God's blessings, so that our choices and what we will for our lives may be in line with what God wills for us, so that our purpose in life becomes fulfilled as we daily make our choices and journey through life. God bless you. God love you. Thank you very much.